Hello and welcome, guys. This is the Double Pivot podcast hosted by me, Rayan Ahmed. And our guest today is Mr. Abrar Aziz, who also is a co host of the Chasing Green Arrows podcast and a huge Arsenal fan, as you can see. So, how are you, Abrar? How is everything going? Well?
Good.
Must be excited about after today.
Doing well. Absolutely, absolutely. Very, very excited. Just not only
Yes.
today's performance, but just in general, the season started and looking
Mhm.
forward to good things from Arsenal in general. Yeah.
Yeah, Abrar, so we will start with our a brief discussion about the post-lockdown period, how Arteta grew the team, and of course it was capped off by the win by the FA Cup win. I would like your thoughts on that.
So as soon as we started off, we had a very difficult first game right after the lockdown when we played Man City, and it just felt like the old Arsenal was kind of back, like over the past year and a half under Emery, where we were kind of underperforming quite significantly. And in that game, it kind of showed our defensive frailty, showed David Luiz coming in doing David Luiz things, kind of didn't help
Yes,
the whole
exactly.
situation. So from there, it was a little bit worrying. But the way Arteta kind of just brought this team together, kind of just changed that mentality, just that perception of how Arsenal
Exactly.
is looked at.
Right.
And in a short period of time, he's
Exactly.
changed Arsenal from just being like a push off to someone that people are now starting to talk about, starting to discuss. And okay, they're like, okay, so people are,
People
except
are
for Arsenal
taking
fans
notice.
also, yeah, everyone else is also seeing that. And there is significant improvement. I mean, if the FA Cup really helped,
Right.
but there is significant improvement in terms of how
Right.
the team has performed in general.
Right.
And not only Arsenal, but even the other teams are now taking up and looking and talking about the Arsenal team, which is what was missing over the past
Of
2-3
course.
years. And it's very, very heartwarming to see that.
Of course. They
So yeah, significant
certainly
improvement.
come back with a bang. Um,
Yeah,
the you can't praise Arteta enough for all he has done,
yeah.
and it was of course capped off with that brilliant FA Cup final win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was huge against
huge.
a strong Chelsea team, so to
Yes.
say. Like Chelsea was a little bit dipping in form. To be
Uh-huh.
fair to them, like they were a little bit off
There's some
board, and
fitness issues and stuff like that.
they had some fitness issues. They were not. And like I said to you, I told you this before as well. Like it wasn't Arsenal needed it more because Arsenal needed to get
That
that Europa spot,
Europa League
and that
place.
showed,
Exactly.
yeah. So that showed in that FA Cup game.
Uh-huh.
And even though we went down early, we were able to come back and
Uh-huh.
really make
Exactly.
win that game. And that showed
Yes.
a lot of character of that young team that he's building. And he's shown that in the past 8 or 9 months. And I'm very excited to see what he gets in the next 3 years of Arsenal. When he has
That
a lot more of his players come in, that'll be
exactly.
something I'm very
Exactly.
excited
That
for.
was some incredible mentality by that Arsenal team
Yeah.
that shown on that day. So moving on towards this season, and as we know, transfer window
Yeah.
really busy time, very frantic in lots of
Yeah.
incomings, outgoings. So, what are your opinions about the players that have already come in, like
Yeah.
Willian, and who else came in?
Gabriel.
Gabriel and
Yeah.
Saliba coming back after a loan spell
Yeah.
at Saint Etienne,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
as well as uh, some outgoings have made a lot of money for you guys, as well as you've been linked to two brilliant midfielders in Thomas Partey and Hossein Aouar, who we already see
Yeah.
the Champions League knockout stages. So, how do you think that's going to help you up in the upcoming season? What's your opinion on those transfers?
So firstly, thanks to Chelsea for Willian. What a game he had today! Like he was
Yeah,
unbelievable. So
class.
he's really that kind of like that winner mentality. Like we have the likes of Aubameyang and those absolute class players, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and then to kind of love David Luiz also in that finals. He showed that he's a winner in his mentality is being a winner. He does
Exactly.
make a lot of mistakes, but he is that winning mentality. And then to bring in Willian again with that kind of mentality, that's what Arteta needs, and that really helped.
Right.
And he showed today. He showed with those 2 assists. He hit the post. He was really, really very good today. So maybe not a long-term thing. And a lot of people criticized Arsenal for going in for a 32, 33-year-old. But I think that at this stage in the development of Arsenal, I think he's going to be a significant player for the next 1 or 2 years maybe. And then they can
It's a
slowly
stopgap.
inculcate someone.
It's
Yeah,
kind of a
exactly.
stopgap. Stopgap.
and and he's a very good player to have in that kind of for the next 1 or 2 years. And
Yes.
then eventually they can nurture someone else and bring some other winger who can really take on that role
Exactly.
in the next 2-3 years. So this is a
Exactly.
very good signing. And again, Gabriel, I'm very excited. Again, he had a very good game today. He was incredible. He started off a little bit shaky first 5 minutes. He was a little nervous, but then he eventually really turned
Mhm.
into the game. And that goal would have done a world of good to him. A free
Obviously.
header. So first big game at Arsenal, you scored the goal. You kind of like those worries are kind of out of your head. You now can
Mhm.
focus on like improving in the team and stuff like that. So that is very good. I'm very
Aerially,
very excited. Yeah, aerially
aerially
he
he
looks
looked dominant.
strong. Yeah, he looks dominant, and he also after the first 10-15 minutes started to dominate the back line. He was taking
Right.
charge, and him and Rob Holding had a significantly good game. Yes, Fulham were not able to. It was a newly promoted side in Fulham and stuff like that, but it's just very hard. It was very hard for me to see that kind of a dominant performance by Arsenal today, and a 3-0
Yes.
victory always helps. So just in general, like the signings that have come in, it's great, and we'll hopefully have to let loose some players, unfortunately. And it looks like from the way things are going, Emi Martinez
I
might
mean,
be one
might
of the
have
outgoing players.
exactly. Looks like
So
Aston Villa has paid quite a significant amount, 20
a lot
million
of money for him.
for his talents and his ability. I still think they've undervalued him quite a bit. It was a
Yeah,
very low ball
absolutely.
figure. And I wanted to ask you about Thomas Partey and Hussein Omar. Thomas Partey, it seems like you've been linked to them in an eternity for an eternity, ever since the lockdown began, probably. And Hussein
Yeah,
Omar, you know, you just can't say much about him. His
yeah,
talent speaks for itself. So, what is your
absolutely.
opinion? Their potential additions. What can that do to you? And
Yeah.
your
But just a little bit thought on Emi Martinez. Honestly, though, if Leno wouldn't have gotten injured, we wouldn't have got more than 5 to 10 for him. So
Mhm.
him being injured is kind of our price has
That's a
gone up
good point.
because of his
That's a
performances.
very
Yeah,
good
because
point.
of his performances recently. So that helps us. It's great. I would be very hard. It would be very hard for me to see him go because he's a true Arsenal guy. But for the sake of the game and for the sake of the money that we need to bring in, he'll be great. And
Yes.
coming to Partey and Orer, both very very good players. I don't think we have space for two. We're going to need either one of them, and I'd be very happy if we are able to get either one of them. Both are
Oh,
very
okay.
good. I would not mind either.
Mm-hmm.
Just as the personal thing, I would like to see Partey because he's really good. I don't know. It's so unfair though. Both are very significantly
I actually think you need hour more.
a little bit more hour more
Because
because
the
it helps.
performance
That's fair.
Elneny put in today, he looked really good. He looked really strong.
Yeah,
Looked
yeah,
really comfortable playing the ball out.
yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think Awar will suit you more because you need that runner in midfield, a ball
Yeah,
carrier. So I
yeah.
think
Uh,
Awar.
towards the end of it, Danny Ceballos showed that over the last 5-10 minutes when he
Uh-huh.
came in. He showed that absolute baller instinct. But you're right about Elneny. Elneny is the kind of guy who needs to be coached well, and Arteta
Mhm.
is coaching him well, and that's why he's shining.
Yes,
Under Emery or someone, he was not able to do that. So
exactly.
that's the problem that he had. And I'm very very happy to see Elneny as a good squad
Mhm.
player. He can chip in wherever he needs to. And either, like I said, either or, I would be very happy with either of those two. And I'm very happy with the signings we've
Seems
gotten.
fair.
I'm happy with the team that we
Team
have. I'm very happy with, in general, how the things have gone over the past,
seems fair.
let's say, 2 months. The FA Cup,
Exactly.
Community Shield, and now moving into the new season. I'm just
Yes.
happy with how things are.
Exactly. Moving on, I just wanted to ask briefly. Um, Saka, Willock, you've got Nketiah, all these young talents that Arteta has brilliantly coached and
Yeah.
incorporated into the team, and they have not just been reduced to bit part roles, but they've been given big responsibilities. So I just wanted to know your expectations on how they develop further this season.
And that's the most exciting thing for me, to see homegrown players kind of come out. And Arsenal has had a little bit of a lack in that department over the past,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, 8-10 years. Unfortunately, we've kind of not really been able to inculcate these youngsters, and they've gone on to, like, for example, Gnabry. We offered him a contract and stuff like that, but he had to go on and do
Exactly.
better.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to Bayern and stuff like that.
And
But yeah, go
no,
ahead.
sorry, please go ahead.
So it's just that kind of feeling for these young players to kind of come in and want to get inculcated into
Right.
this Arsenal first team is something that is again developing,
Exactly.
and that's what I'm excited to see. And the
Exactly.
likes of Saka and Nketiah, Willock, these guys are very good, and there's a couple more that are coming through. Emil Smith-Rowe, I'm very excited about him
Exactly.
in this season
Seems
to
like
get
a
a
baller.
big part role. Yeah, and that's why it was very important for Arsenal to get Europa, because all these young guys can play in the Europa League, and
Yeah.
they get that match practice and get that they play competitive football basically in terms of trying to get that because they might not get as many chances in the Premier League, but that will be the competition and the Carling Cup, FA Cup for them to kind of use that as a platform to knock on the door for the Premier League fixtures as well.
Exactly.
So that is very important, and the fact that they are being inculcated and being used very wisely by Arteta is again, I'm very happy with that, the way that's also unfolding.
Yes. And you just mentioned the homegrown, academy-grown players. I don't know why, but Maitland-Niles goes under the radar a lot. He's also an academy product. Might be a little older than the other guys you mentioned, but he still redeveloped himself in that right wing-back role. And he's
playing left wing back.
Left wing back. I apologize. My apologies. Left wing back role. He's very adaptable. I've seen him at right wing back as well.
Yes, absolutely. He has. Yes.
So that guy's another person who's pretty.
And again today again he had a very good game.
Very good. He's very consistent in that role.
And he is giving Saka competition, which is nice to
exactly.
See. And tactically, Arteta is doing a very smart thing. He's sometimes kind of fire at the back, and then he's like pushing Tierney and the left back, and he's bringing in Maitland-Niles and Maitland-Niles the midfield, and he's chopping and changing like that a lot, and that's helping. Like it's keeping the other team kind of guessing as to what is going to come next.
Exactly.
And that's where we are able to create those spaces and then eventually get those goals. So that's always nice to see.
Moving on. Probably one of the most important questions of this transfer window and this Arsenal team as a whole. Literally two questions. Number one, the Aubameyang contract, and number two, what to do with Mesut Ozil.
Yeah, and those two are probably the most difficult questions to sort of answer. Actually, the Aubameyang contract, I think it's a formality. I think it's done because Aubameyang is kind of also he's tweeting and teasing the Arsenal fans every
night
about it. So
media has leaked it pretty much. The media has leaked that he
pretty much, yeah. Yes, exactly. So it's just a matter of formality. Maybe there's the last minute issues that they're kind of just working with, and it's a matter of time. I honestly think that that's going to happen. The other and if for whatever reason that doesn't happen, all the hard work that has been put in over the past 8 months will really take a backseat. Will take a very, very strong hit in terms of that, because if you can't keep Aubameyang, because he's your player, he's your go-to player.
He's a talisman. Each team has a talisman. He's the talisman.
Absolutely. He is so good, and he's been, even in a weaker performing Arsenal side, he's been consistent scoring those goals. And with the improvement in terms of midfield and giving him the chance, you can just see how much more happier he is.
Yes.
And he's scoring goals for fun, right? He's actually just scoring goals for fun.
From that left-hand side cutting, and it's become like he's become the right-footed Robin, kind of. You could say that.
Yeah, and the finish that he had today, it was just like deja vu for like almost Andreas. And just basically almost Andreas with that beautiful top right corner kind of finish. So it's very, very nice to see that. So I like I said, I think it's a formality. It should go through. But if that doesn't happen, all the hard work will kind of take a very, very big hit if Aubameyang doesn't extend his contract. Because he is the man for the next 2-3 years in Arsenal. He has to sign. And like I said, it's just a matter of him not signing. With Ozil, I don't know if you know, but I'm still a very, very big Ozil fan. I'm just usually a loyal guy in general like that. So
many people are. Even I've been a big fan of him since those Real Madrid days. Lately, I just don't see him enjoying his football like he used to.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. I honestly thought that there was this contract issue, whatever, and maybe it is that. Maybe he's not willing to cut down his favor, and Arsenal's kind of showing him that who's boss, sort of. And it's unfortunate that it's kind of turning out to be like that, because Mesut Ozil is one of the most finest players who to play football in terms of the creativity that he brings to the side. Even he might not add to that defensive side of things for the team. And in the Premier League, sometimes
that's not what he's in the team for, right? He's not in the team for that defensive side.
Yeah, but he will create those goals for you. And I really hope they use him, because I think he's going nowhere. I don't think that unless like someone gives him a lot of money, which in the post-COVID era has become a little hard for anyone to like put in that kind of money, which can a significant signing amount plus his wages, which are high already. So that's I feel like no one's able to bring in that kind of money. So I think he's going nowhere. So I really hope that they can hash out these differences, use him for this year in maybe sparingly as well, but definitely use him. Just not let him sit the year out completely.
He'll be crucial for you against those teams that play the low block.
Yes, that is exactly. And if Arteta understands that, and I'm sure he does, if he can really bring in, even keep him for like, maybe play him only 20 games this season.
Yeah.
Maybe play him with the youngsters in the Europa.
Yes.
Just to have that kind of an enigma in the middle. He really will show you. He can even captain that side. He gives that inspiration to the younger guys to kind of come in. So maybe he uses him like that. Maybe he's not going to play a Premier League game anymore, which is fine with me. But if he can play a few of those Premier League games, and if he can really, be used in the cups or stuff like that, I'd be very happy. Because I think after this year, he's leaving most likely. Because he'll be free transfer, right? And he'll probably get a lot of money in somewhere in US. Yeah, he has to
US
go.
Or
last year.
Yeah.
And then,
seems like
US, or maybe he'll go to Qatar for some money like that. So I would love to see him be used, but that's kind of how I see it happen. I don't see anything else happen with
good option on the bench as well, on those deadlock games, nil 70th minute. Really
bring him on.
Cut to bring him.
Yeah, he will really give you that creative edge. So that would be nice to see.
Finally, I just wanted to ask you, and this is a bit of a detailed question, I would like to say.
Yeah.
Arteta's tactics, on a personal note, I'd say he's my favorite manager currently tactically, over Klopp, over Lampard, over Pep, and over Mourinho and all. Probably he's got some of my favorite tactics in the Premier League. And I just have to say the defensive structure that he has brought to that Arsenal team, I just have to tip my hat to. And I would like your opinion on that.
And you're tipping your hat to him. I'm tipping my whole body to him. I'm going down on him like in like the 8 months that he's really, like I said, he's taken a very disjointed team where everything was just fallen apart. There was no inspiration. There was nothing that these Arsenal players were looking forward to. And he's taken a team like that, and he's brought in that kind of that formation, that structure. The defensive frailties at Arsenal were so bad that we hardly won games last season away from home, right? Mm-hmm. We were so bad. We were just all over the place. And now we see such an impeccable structure. Yeah, we were all over the place. But now we see such an impeccable structure where we are, where everyone's kind of playing for each other. And just like you said, the tactics of the way he's practically improved this team has been so significant. And this he's done in 8 months. You give him one full season, I have a lot of expectations from him, because it's only grown now. Because if he can take that disjointed team and bring it to this kind of a level, that winning the FA Cup, now he has to. Next step for me in terms of his progress will be the consistency. If he can do it week in, week out, that is the next step now.
The thing is, from neutral standpoint, I'd like to say it's not good to get carried away, because it was just Fulham. It was just Fulham. It was
exactly sure.
And those attackers kind of toothless, I'd like to say, except Mitrovic probably.
100%.
The game today, I would like to make a point. The adaptability, the point you made earlier about the Tierney pushing up, you couldn't figure out if he was going with a back four or a back five. Tierney pushing up from the left, Maitland-Niles occupying a position centrally, William coming in from the right, Bellerin pushing forward, and the way you guys played out of the back, I mean, spotless. I don't think you gave away possession even once while playing out of the back.
Yeah. And even the likes of someone who's really just gotten into the team first game with Gabriel, he also looked comfortable after the first
comfortable on the ball.
And even Elneny, who's not played with this team, this is a newer addition.
He
also looked comfortable.
I think, last season.
Yeah. He was on loan with Besiktas last season. So he comes back, and he hasn't played with this unit, but he still looked comfortable.
Exactly.
So it's just the training ground, the work that is being put in the training ground is clearly showing. Right, and that is always nice to see. And he's keeping the opposition guessing in terms of like you said, we discussed this a little bit earlier as well. Maitland-Niles suddenly going in the midfield. Willian is on the right, and then suddenly he's playing a creative midfielder.
Exactly.
Aubameyang joins Lacazette suddenly they become 4-4-2, they become 4-5-1, stuff like that. Yeah. So those kind of things, those kind of variations, and these players know when to do that to confuse the opposition.
It starts becoming difficult to mark. It starts becoming really difficult to mark.
Yes. And yes, this is Fulham. The real test will come against like a City or a Liverpool and stuff like that, or even a Chelsea, because Chelsea is looking good this season and things like that. So, that is where the real
Right.
test will come. But we are moving in the right direction, and that's what I want to see, and that's why I'm
Really,
very happy.
it's something really special is happening at Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And
if we can lock down that Aubameyang contract, I'd be very happy with the way this window went. Even
seems
if we
like
don't
it
get
has been
Partey-
locked down.
Yeah, even if we don't get Partey or if we can lock down Aubameyang, I think this will be a successful window,
And
in my opinion.
yeah, and we saw a glimpse of his preferred lineups and tactics today. I'd like to take your opinion for the other 37 games, plus the Europa, plus the FA Cups, plus the Carabao Cups. And what are your expectations from the Arsenal squad this season? Basically, in other words, predictions. Where do you want to finish, and what would you want from the team?
I think in the Premier League, I think this is a more or less sorted team. There would be one or two changes here and there. Maybe they'll get Saliba.
For the
in
viewers,
Holding.
let's just name the lineup once again, Abrar.
Yeah, for sure. So my ideal 11 would be Leno, Bellerin, Saliba, Gabriel, and Tierney. And then you have Maitland-Niles. So that's the 5. And then we have, if we don't get Partey or with the team that we have right now, then we play Xhaka and we play Ceballos. And then we have the front 3 of Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Willian.
So you're going to drop Pepe?
Because I think that Willian will be more effective I love Pepe.
See,
I think that the thing I can't see how you do. Yeah, go ahead.
But the thing with Willian is, most Chelsea fans will tell you that he's been pretty inconsistent with his form. You see, he performs like this for one game and he'll disappear for the next 10. That's the kind of player you have in Willian. But that one game, he'll perform like prime Ronaldinho. So, just a warning coming from the Chelsea fans that in my opinion, I think Pepe should be on that right-hand side and make that position his own. But Willian is a terrific player. He's on it,
Yeah. And if he with the way the competition is in this current Arsenal side, if he doesn't perform for 2 or 3 games, automatically Arteta is going to remove and bring Pepe on. So like, just because I feel like he's a tried and tested player in the Premier League, and Pepe has taken a little bit time to adapt to this thing. It gives him that enough. So that's why I'd go on Willian. But if he doesn't perform 1-2 games, maybe you bring Pepe in, because he's a very, very suitable backup to have, So that's kind of how I would see this team line up for the Premier League. And then, like I said even before, bring in the younger guys, bring in Saka.
Exactly, I was coming to that point. I still think that Maitland-Niles' position is not locked down yet, because Saka is such a talent. Saka is probably one of the best talents in the league currently. He's going under the radar because of the Fodens and the Greenwoods and the and on and so forth. But Saka is probably one of the best left-footed young talents in the league. And
100%.
I really think he's going to be one of those players that Arsenal fans will have fond memories of, probably in the next 1 decade or 2 decades. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on the Arsenal setup and the whole lineup.
It also kind of gives competition to Bellerin. So if Bellerin kind of slows down a little bit, Maitland-Niles can go there, and
you've got Cedric as well. Cedric has been quality last 5 years, very consistent.
Good backup
for Southampton.
And good backup to have.
Good backup. And let's not forget David Luiz. He has those odd, I'd like to call them brain farts, kind of the time when he just loses. He becomes those, in FIFA, when you lose the control of your controller, right? He becomes, but very, very a big leader in that dressing room and on the pitch as well. So
absolutely.
I don't think he's going to be completely taken out of the lineup. He's going to play a big chunk of games. So,
definitely.
It's very exciting to be an Arsenal fan. It's
absolutely.
The team is going under the radar. It's all about the Chelseas and the Manchester Cities and the Manchester Uniteds and the Sanchos and the whatnot. But Arsenal is a heavily under the radar team this season. And finally,
I agree.
I'd like to ask you for your predictions and your expectations in terms of trophies and in terms of how Arteta, where do you want to see Arteta and this Arsenal team in probably 2 years' time? Not ideally as well as practically speaking.
So ideally, I would like for us to, in terms of only this season right now, ideally, And even realistically, I think a top 4 finish, because we need that consistency. We lacked that in last season. So we bring in that consistency. We finish in the top 4. That is my realistic and ideal prediction for Arsenal this season. And maybe
Very
win a cup
realistic.
game. Yeah. And maybe win a cup, maybe an FA Cup or the Europa for that matter. Something of that sort. Bring in one cup. Just keep the fans excited and keep the top 4. Get into the Champions League. And in the next 2-3 years, I want us to next year or the year after that, I want us to challenge for the title and the Champions League. So that's my next step. So in this step this year, I want us to improve from the we finish to the 4th and then move on.
Yes, as you said,
go ahead.
Next year probably challenge for a title and those Champions Leagues. Willian, I read his first interview with the club. I think Arteta told him the same thing, right? We get into the Champions League first, and in 3 years' time, he sees them challenging for the Champions League. So yours and the club's goals are pretty much aligned.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly how I want to see it. I don't want us to go challenging for the title and then finishing 6th. That wouldn't be realistic. I want us to finish 4th.
Stability is important.
The likes of Liverpool, City, and Chelsea look the stronger right now. I think that we are better than the other teams. I think we are better than Tottenham. I think we are better than United. And I think better than these teams. So I think that we should finish 4th. So that's my realistic target for this season.
As in neutral, I'd like to add Everton to that list too, because of the signings.
And even Wolves.
Wolves, Everton, these teams are not to be overlooked, I'd like to say.
No, definitely. The Premier League is going to be very challenging this year.
Very.
That'll be fun.
Not a single game looks like an easy 3 points this season.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably,
definitely.
Maybe not except Fulham.
And maybe Aston Villa, if I'm being very honest.
We'll keep that for another day, that discussion for another day.
Sure.
Yeah. So thank you for your time, Abrar. It was wonderful chatting with you about all things Arsenal. And for our viewers, I would like to say, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do as much as you can to share this content. And thank you for tuning into the Double Pivot podcast. And thank you again to our guest, Mr. Abrar Aziz. A wonderful time.
Always a pleasure. Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you.